Hi guys, it's Francis. Today I'm going to be talking about all of the new Pokémon in Pokémon Scarlet and Violet and all my opinions on them. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet for me is an interesting game. It's notorious for all of its bugs and glitches which should have been dealt with prior to the game's release. Some of them are really funny to watch, but you just look at them and you think, why didn't they just sort them out to begin with? You know? But aside from that, the game is very fun to play. It's very open world. You get to see pretty much most of Paldea before you've got one gym badge. But it's fun to play. I do like Legends Arceus more, but that's just my personal opinion. It's still fun to play. The storylines are really good. The only thing I can think of that I didn't really like was the Psychic type gym and the emotional puzzle that they got you to do prior to battling the gym leader. I don't understand that. I don't understand how that's got to do with anything. I suppose Psychic type's to do with your mind and stuff, but it just felt really pointless doing it. But aside from that, I really enjoyed it. I like Penny, and I love her team. Her evolutions can kind of relate to her personality, being an introverted otaku who likes Eevees.
Clavel was absolutely hilarious. I just absolutely loved the guy. His disguise was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was just so obvious it was him. Like, that pompadour did not help. It just made him look ridiculous. The other characters couldn't even tell it was him, but it was so blinking obvious. It was so obvious. But again, it was also really sweet that he was going out of his way to try and help the students. It was good he was trying to understand where Team Star were coming from.
I felt so sorry for Arvin throughout most of the story. Poor Ben. Poor lad. Did not deserve what he went through. And Demona is just like, she's just like so, like, oh my gosh, she's so funny without trying to be. Anyway, I'll get started telling you what I think about the new Pokémon. Sprigatito. 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 Sorry, that was just based off something that I saw on the internet. I thought it was hilarious. Except he sings it with a bit of a higher pitched voice. Nah, but never mind, I'm just silly. Sprigatito was probably my favourite design of the base forms of the stars. That was the Pokemon I chose when I first started playing through Scarlet and Violet. I think it's very cute. I really like it. Florigato. It's okay. It reminds me a little bit of Lucario a bit. I don't mind it, but I don't love it. Meowscarada. Wasn't too keen on it to begin with, to be honest. It's grown on me, but I'm not in love with its design. But it's fine. Fuecoco. He's a cute boy. We must protect. I like that cutscene at the beginning where he burns this apple and tries to eat it, but Quaxley stops him. I thought that was very funny. Yeah, I like Fuecoco. Crocodile. Yeah, he's fine. I don't mind him. Looks like he's wearing a sombrero, which is really cool. Skelidurge. At first I wasn't sure what to make of Skelidurge, but he's definitely grown on me. I don't mind Skelidurge. I used Skelidurge in my first playthrough of Scarlet, and I really enjoyed using it. Quaxley. Yeah, Quaxley is very cute. I do quite like it. I might use it in the future during the playthrough, I don't know. Quaxwell. Don't really have an opinion on it, really. It's okay. It doesn't really stand out to me. Quaquavel. I don't know, it's a bit weird for me. Not really my taste. It's a bit over the top. Lechonk. It's very cute. Though it does look like it's crying a little bit, which makes me feel sorry for the poor boy. Or girl. Winkalone. How to make it obvious that it's a pig. Add oink at the beginning. No, Oink alone, both forms are fine. Don't mind them. The Dunsparce. Dunsparce needed an evolution, but it's not really that different from Dunsparce. It's fine, it's a bit of a lazy design, just adding like extra bits onto Dunsparce. I've seen a lot of people do dragon type, dragon normal type designs for Dunsparce's possible evolution, though I'm not too pleased with the fact they've just literally added a little bit onto Dunsparce and called it a different Pokemon. But its name's hilarious. No, it's fine, it's just, I think it's low effort there. Tarantula. To be honest, it's kind of forgettable for me. I keep forgetting this thing exists. Spidops. I like Tarantula's look more than Spidops, if I'm honest. I don't like the look of it. Nimble. A little bit more memorable. Still not that memorable. It's okay, it's fine. Low kicks. Again, it's pretty forgettable for me. It's fine, really. Rello is even more forgettable for me. I forget this thing exists. It's just really boring looking. Rabska. Same. Forget this thing exists. It's just not memorable enough for me. It's just really boring to me. Graveyard. It's a precious dog with a candle on its head. I like it. It's very cute. I like its design. It's kind of morbid, but cute at the same time, if that makes sense. Houndstone. Yeah, Houndstone's pretty cool. I like Graveyard a bit more, but Groundstone is, it's alright, a bit morbid, but kind of cool at the same time. Flittle. Flittle is alright, yes, it's kind of cute, but a little bit forgettable for me. Espathra. I would have made Espathra a flying psychic type, or psychic flying type. It's just a psychic type. I just don't think it should just be a psychic type because it's an ostrich. It should have it should be a flying type. Even though it can't fly, it's a bird. Espathra, like a lot of people think, it looks a bit like Lady Gaga. It's a bit weird looking. It's okay. This is just going to be a mouthful for me to say. Frigiraffe. I don't know what the official pronunciation is. It's Giraffarigg's evolution. I like it. I think it's very cool and very cute. And I like how they kept the palindrome theme. A palindrome, for people who don't know, is basically a word that's basically spelt exactly the same way backwards as it is forwards. And said exactly the same way backwards as it is forwards. For example, Giraffarig. That's a palindrome. So, I think it's very good they did that. I like the little hood that for a giraffe has on its head. I like its design. I just think it's absolutely awesome. I haven't used one yet, but I really want to use one when I do another playthrough. I'm also thinking that if I do another playthrough, I'm going to use some of the older Pokemon, because recently there have been Typhlosion and Samurott and Decidueye raids in Scarlet and Violet, so maybe I'll use some of them. I think I've heard that they're putting previous lines from other games in Scarlet and Violet, so I might be using some of them as well. I think a Chimchar line is coming back. I think. I've read it somewhere. So I can use my monkey again. I have a serious problem. I need to stop obsessing over Infernape. Anyway, I'll get off the Infernape topic because you're probably sick of hearing me ramble on about that monkey. Wiglet. Okay, Wiglet. It's essentially a new thing they introduced in this game is like doing species that are very similar to old species. Put the name there if I remember what it is. Different species of Pokemon to Diglett, but it's like you can clearly see it's based off Diglett in its design. It looks really dumb, but I like it. If that makes sense. Wiglet looks really dumb in its design, but I still really like it for some reason. I don't know why. It's like a wiggly worm. I like it. The next Pokemon has a really ridiculous name, and it's the evolved form of Wiglet. Wugtrio. What the heck is a Wug?
Like, why is it called Wug Trio? I get they're trying to replace the D with a W, but it's like, it sounds ridiculous. It's just such a stupid name. I'm sorry, but it really is. Yeah, it's... I kind of like it, but it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous at the same time. Yeah, I think we best move on. Dondozo. Dondozo kind of reminds me a bit of Wishcash, if you know what I mean. It has a very similar look, in my opinion. But Dondozo feels a little bit more forgettable to me. I know it's got this gimmick where it's with Tatsugiri, the Pokemon. I think it's a more forgettable version of Wishcash and Veluza. I don't like Veluza. It's kind of like the Zubat or Tentacruel of Paldea. You try to get across the water and you have one chasing you. It's like really, really annoying. It's just so irritating. I don't like its design that much, which doesn't help. If it wasn't for the fact that it chased you across water constantly, I wouldn't remember it. Also, if Kofu didn't keep saying "Vaultin Veluza" all the time, I'd probably not think about it at all. Finizen. Finizen is very cute. We needed a dolphin Pokemon. We've got one. You gotta love Finizen. Palafin. I think Palafin's Zero design is quite lazy. They've literally just taken Finizen and put a heart on it. That's it. Yes, I'm happy that it has an evolution, but they could have done a little bit more with it to make it more interesting. So the Palafin Hero form is quite cool. I don't say I love it, but I think it is quite cool. Smolov's name is funny. It's quite cute, but again, I forget it exists. Dolov, don't really like its design that much. It is kind of cute, but again, I forget it exists. A Believer makes me think of I'm a believer. When I saw her face, now I'm a believer. Apart from that, I forget it exists on a regular basis, unless I'm in terror raids. In that case, sometimes I'll see one and I'll be like, oh yeah, this is a Pokemon. But other than that, no, I forget it's there. It's fine. It's alright. I just forget it's a Pokemon. Capsakid. Honestly, I think Capsakid is quite ugly. I'm not keen on it. Scovillain. Scovillain is also very ugly. They could have done something very different with that line's designs. Tadbulb. Tadbulb is kind of cute. I do kind of forget it exists sometimes, but it's fine. It's cute. Bellybolt. Bellybolt is very cute. I like it. Varoom. Varoom, I don't mind Varoom. It's fine. I just don't really see it as a Pokemon. Pokemon means pocket monsters, right? But I wouldn't think that Varoom would be a monster. I think it would be a bit off a car. Or a car. Or a machine part. I don't see it as a monster, you know? Revavroom. Again, I feel exactly the same way about this Pokemon. It is cool looking, but it doesn't feel like a Pokemon to me. It feels like a motorbike. That's what it feels like to me. It just doesn't feel like a Pokemon. I accept it exists. I accept its pre-evolution exists, but it's just... I don't know. It's a bit of a strange decision they made with those two. Form. It's fine. I don't mind it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's alright. It is a wee bit forgettable for me. If it wasn't one of the Titan Pokemon, I'd probably forget it exists completely. Tandemaus. It's two mice. They're fine. Quite cute. And Mousehold. Quite cute. When I see Tandemaus and Mousehold, I immediately think of the song Windmill in Old Amsterdam. You know, a mouse lived in a windmill in Old Amsterdam. I saw a mouse where there on the stair. I don't know whether any of you guys have heard that one. It's a very old song now, but it's a classic. I grew up with that. But they make me think of that. But no, they're fine.
I kind of like them. It's still, I always find it weird when they put two living things together and say it's a Pokemon. It's a bit weird. Two or more living things together and say they're Pokemon. I'm just like, are they? I'll go on. Yeah, they're fine. I like them. Bit weird, but I like them. Cetoddle. Cetoddle is very cute. We protect it. Yes, it's quite cute. I like it. It's a Titan, not as cute. It's okay. I don't mind it. Kinda cool, but still like Cetoddle more. Frigibax. It's okay. It's fine. Kind of weird looking, but it's fine. Artibax. Quite cool looking. Don't love it, but I quite like it. Baxcalibur. I have used one. It is very fun to use. Its cry is funny. And it just like screams whenever you're thinking out this Pokeball. I do quite like it now. The first one I saw it, I was thinking, this thing looks very, very weird. I'm not keen on its design, but I've grown to love it. Tatsugiri. If Tatsugiri wasn't a Titan Pokemon, if it didn't have that affiliation with Dondozo, I'd probably completely forget about it. In fact, I forget about the fact it has that affiliation with Dondozo sometimes. It's just not a memorable Pokemon to me. It's just a bit... I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. It's just forgettable for me. Okay, I'm going to put all three of these Pokemon in one section. The Pawmi line. I like the line, right? I think they're all very, very cute Pokemon. But they're too samey. I loved using my Pawmot. But it's just... the designs could have been made to look much different from each other. When I evolved mine from a Pawmi up to its vile form, I was like, this is just the same Pokemon, but just slightly bigger and slightly different coloured. I just think the designs for this were really... it's just too samey. I'd like at least a little bit of difference that, like, is really obvious. Like, you know, I'm comparing this to one of my favourite Pokemon lines here again, but if you look at Chimchar to Monferno to Infernape, you can see the obvious differences, like, in the designs. You can tell that it still has elements, that it's the same line, but you can also tell that there are differences between the different forms. But with the Pawmi line, it's like the same pose but different colour. And it's like, did you realise how similar your designs are? I'm sorry. I still love them though. They're still cute. I love them. Protect. Wattrel. It's fine. It's alright. Don't mind it. Very cool. Killer Wattrel. That is also very cool. I like its design. It looks pretty badass. Bombardier. I think I'd forget Bombardier if it wasn't a Titan. I don't think its design is very memorable, but it is cool looking. I do quite like it. Squawkabillies. I find them quite forgettable as well, but I don't mind them. They're fine. Not my favourite Pokemon in the whole world, but they're fine. Okay, Flamigo. It's essentially just a flamingo, really. But I like it. I think Flamigo is really, really cute and cool. I haven't used one, but I like it because flamingos are pink. I like pink. And I like flamingos. Flamingos are cool. It would be nice to have, like, evolutions or pre-evolutions for Flamigo, but, you know, I'm just happy it exists. Cloth. Cloth is fine. I don't mind Cloth. I don't know what makes it more memorable than some of the other Titan Pokemon, but I like Cloth. I think it's cool. The Knackley line. The Knackley line are fine. I don't love them, but they're fine. Glimmet and Glamora. Glimmet is pretty forgettable for me. It's just there. It's fine, but it's just there. Glamora is quite cool, quite pretty looking. Yeah. I have to say, the one thing I don't understand about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the champion, right? I don't hate her, but I don't love her either. I don't understand why Geeta is the top champion, and she's already said that she's been beaten by Nimona. I mean, that doesn't make sense, and her team isn't very good either. I mean, like, Go-Goat is a cool Pokemon, but it's not very strong. And just some of the Pokemon choices and the lack of coverage just doesn't make sense to me. If she's supposed to be really strong, then why has she got such an awful team? You know, you could have just thought it out better. Also, she has a King Gambit, and it has an ability called Supreme Overload, which basically, when its teammates have fallen, it like becomes stronger. But it's like really badly placed in the order in which she sends it out. She could have just like left it till the end and made it really dominate the rest of your team. But no, she goes with Glamora at the end. Shroodle. Shroodle is forgettable. I don't mind it, but it is very forgettable for me. Grafaiai. I always remember this one. This was one of the Pokemon that was in the trailers for Scarlet and Violet when I was waiting for Scarlet and Violet to come out. I really like it. Being an artist myself, it's always interesting to see Pokemon that are art-inspired or artist-inspired, or see designs that are artist-inspired. I quite like it. Fido. Fido is adorable. I love it. It is precious. It must be protected at all costs. It is literally a bakery dog, and we love it. It is awesome. Dash Bun. Don't think it's as cute as Fido, but it is still very cute. It also must be protected. I like it. Mastiff. Don't really like Mastiff's design, gotta be honest. It looks like it would be one of those dogs that would attack you, or it would cause some kind of problem. Not that keen on it. Mastiff. I don't like Mastiff's design, I've got to be honest, right? But the relationship between Arven and his Mastiff made me like it a bit more, because the poor thing is really poorly to begin with, but helping it get better, it's just so nice, because Arven deserves love because of everything he's been through. It's just so satisfying to see Mastiff get better, and the bond he has with Arven, it's just so sweet. So I don't like Mastiff as a Pokemon. Arven's bond with his is just the sweetest thing ever. Bramblin. Bramblin is pretty forgettable for me. I don't hate it, it's just forgettable. Bramblegast, a little bit more memorable. It's fine. Don't love it and don't hate it. Gimmighoul. Yeah. Gimmighoul's fine. I don't mind it. It's just there. It's annoying trying to find all of the Gimmighoul chests around Paldea to try and evolve a Gimmighoul into Golden Go. It's just absolute nightmare. You have to wait for the day to reset. You have to go all around Paldea to find the coins, or the Gimmighoul themselves, and it's very annoying. It's doable, but it takes forever. If you want to use a Golden Go in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it's very difficult to do it like from the beginning, because it's just like you have to collect all these coins, and it's like, is it worth it when there are other Pokemon out there? Okay, Golden Go. Yeah, Golden Go's fine. It's a bit weird looking, but it's fine. I don't mind it. Great Tusk. Great Tusk is like a variant of Donphan that came from the past. Yeah, Great Tusk is fine. I like it better than its future counterpart. I like how it looks like a mammoth. It is very cool. I like it. Brute Bonnet. Brute Bonnet is weird looking to me. I'm not gonna lie. It's a version of Among Us. Not Among Us. Among Us. It's just very weird looking. By the way, I find it weird that the Paradox Pokemon have like descriptors as their actual name and not like proper names, like, you know, like Don Fan or Among Us. Like, have normal names. It's not difficult, but they are as they are, you know. Can't do anything about it. Sandy Shocks. Weird. Very weird. Yeah. Screamtail. Basically Jigglypuff for trying to look more menacing. I like it. I think it's very cute. It would probably murder me, but I like it. Fluttermane. Deadly but cute. I like. Slitherwing. It's fine. I personally prefer Volcarona in this case, but I don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. It's fine. Roaring Moon, which is basically Mega Salamence. It's fine. It's just Mega Salamence, but more prehistoric. It's fine. I don't mind it. Quite cool. Iron Treads, other version of Donphan. Very robotic looking. Quite weird. Not that keen on it. It's fine, but very weird looking. Iron Moth. I prefer this paradox form of Volcarona to the other one. I do quite like it. I think its paradox form looks very, very cool. Iron Hands. Basically Hariyama from the future. Basically a robot Hariyama. Don't mind it. It's fine. It's weird looking, but it's supposed to look weird. Iron Jugulus, basically Hydreigon, but from the future. It's fine. I don't mind it. Iron Thorns, future Tyranitar. It's fine. It's basically Tyranitar but a robot. It's not much I can say really. Iron Bundle, which is a very strong Delibird. I don't mind it. It's cute-ish, like the original Delibird. Yeah, it's fine. Iron Valiant, basically combination of Mega Gallade and Gardevoir. It's a bit of a weird idea, this one, but I don't mind it. It's fine. I think it's quite cool looking. Definitely a different idea than what they've had in the past. Yeah, it's fine. I'm saying it's fine a lot, aren't I? We'll get to the legendaries. Ting Lu. It's fine. Don't mind it. Tell you what, it must hurt having that giant bull on its head, like. But, it's quite cool looking. I don't mind it. Chien Pao. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong, by the way. I literally haven't said these names before. It's a saber-toothed tiger. It's very cool. Literally because it's an ice type, and not literally because I like the look of it. Wo Chien. It's like a snail, and very moss looking. I like it. Shi Yu. It's a fish. A dog firefish. I don't understand why this is a legendary. I imagine it's very strong, because I haven't caught it yet, because I haven't gathered the means to do so. Its design's fine, it's just a bit of an odd choice to have as a legendary, in terms of its design, in my opinion. Koraidon. Koraidon's quite cool. I like it. Story with it is good. It's a cool looking dragon. Miraidon. Miraidon I like better than Koraidon. Probably because of its design. I think it looks cooler. I really loved using it. I like the purples in its design and the yellow in its design, and you can really tell it's a dragon electric type. With Koraidon, I don't think you can really tell easily that it's got a fighting typing as well. You can definitely tell it's a dragon, but the fighting one's not obvious. I do still like his design though, but Miraidon's my favourite out of the two. The Tinkaton line. Yeah, I like this line. Probably because they're pink, and pink's my favourite colour. I used Tinkaton for my Violet playthrough. It was so much fun to use. It's like a cute little thing, and it's like so violent with that giant hammer. It's just so funny. I love it. Probably one of my favourites. I still feel sorry for the Corviknights of the region though. For those of you who don't know, they're enemies. But never mind that. No, I like that line a lot. I love the designs. They look a little bit like Digimon, but I like them. Very, very cool. Very pretty. Cool, but deadly. Charcadet. Charcadet is very cute. I like it. Armor Rouge. Armor Rouge is quite cool. I like it. I wouldn't guess it was a psychic typing by its design, but I do still really like it. Cerulege. I've been using one in my Violet playthrough, and it's been so fun to use. Its defense is terrible though, but it's been really fun to use. I like its design more than Armor Rouge's. I don't know why, but I just do. But Cerulege is just so, like, I don't know, it gives me Gallade vibes a little bit. That might be part of it, and I like Gallade. But I really like it. I think it looks really badass. Okay, it's a convergent Pokemon. Now we're on to another convergent Pokemon. This time we've got Toadscool and Toadscruel. Have a guess what Pokemon they are. Yes, so if you guessed Tentacruel and Tentacool, you're absolutely spot on. Not that it wasn't obvious already. Toadscool, as the name implies, is based off a toadstool. Hence why it's got ground and grass typing. I think it's quite cute. I like its funny little run it does when it's trying to escape from you. It's so funny. I like it. Toadscruel. You can tell it's based off Tentacruel. I don't mind it. I like Toadscool more. But then I like Tentacool more than Tentacruel anyway. So it might just be me. But Toadscruel is fine. It's just a bit weird to imagine a version of Tentacruel on land. But yeah, no, it's alright. I don't mind it. Okay, King Gambit. I like King Gambit. It's cool. Annoying to evolve, but it's cool. I like. It just looks so badass. It looks very, very cool. Ready to fight and defend its people. Okay, Paldean Wooper. It's very cute, this. I like it. I think I like it more than regular Wooper, actually. I like regular Wooper, but Paldean Wooper, I love it. Clodsire. Clodsire is a precious thick boy we must protect. Clodsire is very cute. He is just adorable. We like him. I like him. Annihilate. Now, this is quite funny. I don't know whether you guys have read this, but in one of Primeape's Pokédex entries, it says that some Primeape gets so angry that they actually get themselves so worked up that they end up dying. Yes, that's literally what it says in one of the actual Pokédexes. I am not kidding. I think that was foreshadowing for the creation of Annihilate, because Annihilate is the ghost typing. So some of them must have died and then turned into Annihilate, which is kind of cool, kind of disturbing at the same time. Anyway, my opinion on Annihilate, it looks very scary, but also very cool. I really like it. I think it was an interesting move for Game Freak to make. I was wondering if Primeape would get a final evolution, since so many other Pokemon did. And it's interesting. I like. Paldean Tauros. I would have liked it if Tauros had had an evolution, but getting a regional variant is pretty good as well. Interesting they've given it the fighting type for all of its forms, and the fact they've given it different forms, that's interesting. Yeah, all the forms are pretty cool. I don't mind them. I don't love them, but I don't mind them. They're fine. Okay. Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. Suicune and Virizion. Yes. I'll talk about Walking Wake first. Walking Wake is fine. I don't mind it. It's a bit weird looking, but I don't mind it. I do prefer regular Suicune more, but Walking Wake is fine. It was a nightmare to actually catch. The same goes for Iron Leaves. That was just a nightmare to get. Walking Wake is fine, it's just a bit weird looking for me. Iron Leaves. Iron Leaves is essentially a robot Virizion. Virizion? Virizion. It's essentially a robot Virizion. Don't mind it, I don't love it, but it's fine. It's alright. It's pretty cool. Cyclozar. Cyclozar is pretty cool. Interesting that it's related to Miraidon and Koraidon. I think it does get a bit overshadowed by those two, but I do still really like it. It's not my favourite Pokemon, but it definitely is really interesting. And that wraps up this part of the video. I think there's going to be more Pokemon added in the DLC that's coming up. So I might make a video on that. We'll see. Touch wood. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.